එදිනෙදා ඔබේ මුළු සිරුරටම රැකවරණයක්. සුදේශී කොඹ සබන්.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50 අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, Easter attacks post-mortem. Presidential Commission hears that the IGP had known of Zahran's extremism since 2017. No escape. Police insist that the quarantine ordinance will be effective irrespective of curfew lift. High Commission's intervention. The Guardian takes down quiz question which said Elam is an indigenous name for Sri Lanka. Storm brewing. Prevailing inclement weather forecast to intensify. All that and much more coming up on First at 9. This Sunday, the 17th of May 2020.
SMS කර රුපියල් මිලියන 3ක මුල්තැන්ගේ උපකරණ දිනාගෙන අවුරුද්දෙම 100 ටයිම් සේව් කරගන්න.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamke Knight. Let's start with your local stories. Now, Sri Lanka continues to face the challenges brought on by COVID-19 head on, and the island today reached a recovery rate of 55%, the highest so far. The success of the country's response to the pandemic needs no further explanation, as the recovery rate, along with the slowdown in the number of fresh positive cases, serve as enough proof. With the government implementing an exit strategy from the lockdown, police call on the public to get accustomed to the new normal, as the virus will not disappear from the world anytime soon.
Despite the detection of more positive cases of COVID-19, 18 more people returned home from hospitals today after having fully recovered from the coronavirus. The overall tally of the recovered therefore rose to 538, increasing the recovery rate to 56% in the process. To date, 9 people have succumbed to the virus and most among them suffered from underlying health conditions. The country has so far reported 964 confirmed cases of COVID-19, but only 417 cases are currently active. As of this afternoon, 521 naval personnel have been infected with COVID-19, and with 12 more personnel recovering from the virus, the total number of recovered Navy personnel is 189. Of the total number of active COVID-19 cases in the country, 332 involve naval personnel. As of 12:30 p.m. today, a total of 652 cases of coronavirus infections have been identified since the first Navy sailor was diagnosed on the 22nd of April. He contracted the virus during operations to round up persons in the area of Suduvella in Jala who had come into contact with a COVID-19 infected person. Among the 652 cases are 557 Navy personnel and their associates. During the past 24 days, outside the clusters that emerged from the spread of coronavirus at the Valisara Naval Base, only 95 people were detected from quarantine centres and in field tests. Of the 25 COVID-19 cases identified yesterday, 23 are Navy personnel. According to Commander of the Army Lieutenant General Shavindra Silva, the remaining duo are detected from quarantine centres. One of them is an arrival from Chennai being quarantined at the Kandakadu Quarantine Centre, while the other was at the Miyankulam Quarantine Centre. Over the last 17 days, no COVID-19 patient have been detected outside the clusters of patients emerged due to the spread of the virus among naval personnel and quarantine facilities. Meanwhile, the Army took steps to send 31 persons back to their homes this morning after successfully completing their quarantine process at the facility in Pampemadu in Vaunia. They are residents of Navalapitiya and Sivanagala. In the meantime, the Home Agama Medical Officer of Health and Public Health Inspectors launched a special operation yesterday to check whether private medical centres and private laboratories in the town of Home Agama are adhering to proper hygiene procedures. They even had to advise certain institutions which failed to apply the health protocols. Meanwhile, head of Traffic Police DIG Ajit Rohana calls on the public to get accustomed to the current situation and help prevent any further clusters of COVID-19.
දැන් ඔබ දන්නවා තාමත් අපේ එක ක්ලස්ටර් එක පොකුරක් සක්‍රිය තත්ත්වෙන් තියෙනවා. ඒවැන් රෝගීන් බිහි වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා ඒ පොකුර වැඩිපුරම නිර්මාණය වුණේ මේ කොළඹ ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්ක ආශ්‍රිතව. ඉතින් ඒ පොකුරු අක්‍රිය වුණොත් 100%ක්ම ඒ ගැන සෞඛ්‍ය බලධාරීන් සෑහීමකටපත් වුණොත් ඒ ගැන කටයුතු කරයි. නමුත් තාම අපිට ඒවට පුරෝකතන කිරීමේ හැකියාවක් නැහැ. ඉතින් අපිට තාම හරියටම මේක නිතැතින්ම ඉවර කරන දවසක් ගැන කියන්න බෑ. ලෝක සෞඛ්‍ය සංවිධානය කියන්නේ තව කාලයක් මේ රෝගයත් එක්ක ජීවත් වෙන්නේ වෙයි කියලා. ඒකට අනුගත වෙමින් නැවත පොකුරු නිර්මාණය වීම වළක්වාගෙන කටයුතු කරන්න අපේ උපරිම දායකත්වය සලස ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි අර සෞඛ්‍ය සිරිත් අනුගමනය කරන්න කියලා කියන්නේ.
Meanwhile, Minister of Health Pavitra Vanniyarachi called on the chief prelates of the Malvatta and Asgiriya chapters today to bring them up to speed on the government's program put in place to eradicate COVID-19. In a separate development based on information gathered mainly through the Contact Sri Lanka web portal of the Ministry of Foreign Relations, over 38,983 overseas Sri Lankans in 143 countries at present are seeking repatriation. This comprises 3,078 students, 4,040 short-term visa holders, 27,854 migrant workers, 3,527 dependents, and 484 dual citizens and others. Meanwhile, since the 21st of April, 3,600 overseas Sri Lankans have been repatriated from 15 countries, largely comprising of foreign students and government officials on training, as well as their dependents.
Now, in the meantime, we just got news that 6 more positive COVID-19 cases have been detected. If and when details come, we will bring them to you. Now, the curfew that came into effect at 8 p.m. last night will continue until 5 a.m. tomorrow. Once lifted, the curfew will be lifted on a daily basis from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. until Saturday, the 23rd of May in 23 districts. The 2 COVID-19 high-risk districts of Colombo and Gampaha, however, will have to endure the curfew until further notice. In the meantime, the police says that the quarantine ordinance is applicable throughout the country, irrespective of whether the curfew is in effect or not, giving police the power to take legal action against anyone at any time.
The island-wide curfew that went into effect from 8 p.m. last night will be lifted in all districts except for Colombo and Gampaha at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Once the curfew is lifted in 23 districts, a window of free movement will be accorded each day from 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. until Saturday the 23rd. The curfew, however, will remain in place for Colombo and Gampaha until further notice. In the meantime, police media spokesperson SP Jaliya Senaratne says that the people should understand that the Quarantine and Prevention of Diseases Ordinance number 3 of 1897 is valid across the country, irrespective of whether the curfew is in place or not. He therefore said that it allows the police to take legal action against anyone who violates quarantine regulations. Meanwhile, a total of 886 people have been penalized for violating curfew regulations since the curfew went into effect last evening. The police was also seen warning people of Hatton who were frequenting in the city and marketplaces after the curfew was imposed last evening. They also kept an eye on the people to see whether they were adhering to health and safety protocols and to see whether they possessed the necessary documentation to travel during curfew hours.
හෙට දිනේ අඳුරුම්පතේ අංක ක්‍රමය අනුව කොළඹ සහ ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කවල අයට පිටතට පැමිණීමට හැකියාව ලැබෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම කොළඹ නගරේ කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කේ ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කේ කටයුතු කරන අය පිළිබඳව අපි අවධානයෙන් සිටිනවා. ඔවුන්ගේ සෞඛ්‍ය හැසිරීම පිළිබඳව සොයා බැලීමට CCTV දත්ත වගේම බුද්ධ්‍යංශ නිලධාරීන් යොදවා තිබෙනවා. ඒ වයින් ලබා ගන්න තොරතුරු මත වැටලීම් සිදු කිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
In the meantime, the Department of Railways today highlighted a few things that should be kept in mind when travelling via trains tomorrow.
පුද්ගලික සහ රාජ්‍යාංශයේ රාජකාරී සඳහා එන මගින් සඳහා පමණයි මෙම දුම්රිය වෙන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. පුද්ගලික සංචාරයන් හෝ නෑදෑයෙක් ගෙවල් වල යෑම සඳහා දුම්රිය ස්ථාන වලට ඇවිල්ලා ආපහු හැරලා යන්න එපා. ඒක දුම්රිය ස්ථාන කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයට සහ ආරක්ෂක හමුදාවන්ට රාජකාරියට බාධාවක්. විශේෂයෙන්ම ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්න කැමති උණ සහ කොරෝනා වෛරසයට අදාළ රෝග ලක්ෂණ යම්කිසි මොකක් හෝ තියෙනවා නම් දුම්රියෙන් ගමන් කිරීම සඳහා දුම්රිය ස්ථානයට නොපැමිණ ලෙස මේ අවස්ථාවේ මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
The Excise Department meanwhile states that liquor shops which were permitted to open last week will be the only ones allowed to stay open from tomorrow onwards.
හෙට දිනේ විවෘත කිරීමට අවසර ලැබෙන්නේ සෙනසුරාදා දිනේ විවෘත කිරීමට අවසර තිබූ මත්පැන්හල් පමණයි. සීමිත මත්පැන්හල් ප්‍රමාණය විවෘත කිරීමට අවසර දුන්නත් ඒවා සෞඛ්‍ය බලධාරීන් විසින් ඒ වගේම ආරක්ෂක බලධාරීන් විසින් නියම කරන ලද විධිවිධාන සහ උපදෙස් වලට අනුකූලව පමණයි ක්‍රියාත්මක විය හැක්කේ. රජය මගින් වැඩිදුර නියෝගයක් කරන තෙක් කිසිසේත් එම ස්ථානයන්හි හිඳ මත්පැන් පානය කිරීමේ ස්ථාන විවෘත කිරීමට රජය ඉඩ ලබා දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Now, as things stand, Sri Lanka is having to contend with a bout of adverse weather along with the coronavirus pandemic. The National Building Research Organisation today extended their landslide warnings and urged people to be vigilant on the pre-landslide signs as the rains across the country are forecast to intensify. The warnings come as the depression which prevailed in the southeast Bay of Bengal developed into a cyclonic storm.
Following the forecast of the Department of Meteorology, the depression which developed as a result of the low-pressure zone in the southeast Bay of Bengal and its neighbouring areas intensified into a severe cyclonic storm and has lay centred at 8:30 a.m. this morning. The department forecasts that the cyclone named Amphan is very likely to intensify further into a severe cyclonic storm and will likely to move northwards during the next 24 hours and then recurve north-northeastwards towards West Bengal coast during 20th of May. Due to this situation, the prevailing showery condition over the island, particularly in the southwestern part, is likely to continue further. Heavy showers above 150 millimeters are likely at some places. Cloudy skies can be expected over the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur in southern, western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces, with isolated heavy showers exceeding 150 millimeters. Furthermore, showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in north central and Uva provinces and in Mannar district. In the meantime, the remains of the man who was swept away by the currents in Kudaoya in the Kegaul district were brought to his residence last night. Disaster Management Centre provided 250,000 rupees as compensation for the sudden death, while 25,000 rupees from that sum is intended for his funeral arrangements. In another development, the remains of the 77-year-old woman who perished when a mound of earth fell on her residence in the area of Valdenia in the Kegaul district was brought to her residence this morning. The Disaster Management Centre once more provided 250,000 rupees in compensation.
We have alerted all the communities prior to this situation, and the people know where to go and the safe centres. So special plan with the COVID-19 outbreak, we have launched that plan with the health sector and the technical agencies and the relief services, as well as the district secretaries and the disaster management units. The 117 call center number is completely open for all the disaster management activities, and our military and tri-forces, police and the search and rescue teams with equipments been deployed in southeastern part of the country. So they are standby with the equipments to face any kind of disaster situation.
Elsewhere in the Gaul district, strong winds which flew across the area of Caterpillar of LPTR damaged 35 houses this morning. Our correspondent said that military personnel were deployed to provide relief to stricken public. In the meantime, a house located in the area of Tholangamu in Kegaul sustained damages as a mound of earth fell on it owing to the heavy deluge. Following the prevailing inclement weather, National Building Research Organisation once again urged people to be vigilant on early signs of landslide.
The NBRO requests to pay attention to the following pre-landslide signs: development of cracks on the ground, deepened cracks and ground subsidence, slanting of trees, electrical posts, fence and telephone posts, cracks in the floors and walls of buildings which are built at top, sudden appearance of springs, emerging muddy water, blockage or disappearance of existing streams. And the NBRO advised to people should move immediately away from the areas where they notice the above pre-landslide sign. In addition to that, the rain occurs in the other part of the hilly areas in the country. The people live in these areas be vigilant of cut drops, failures and road users also be careful about the slope failures. This warning will extend to PM up to tomorrow.
We will see you shortly after this break. Stay tuned.
නිෂ්පාදිත දිනය කවදත් අලුත් වටවල තේ අරගන්න.
වටවල තේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ තේ එක.
Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, the Guardian newspaper in the UK has taken down a question in a quiz published on its web edition after the Sri Lankan High Commission in London lodged objections over the relevant question. The question purported the word Elam as an indigenous name for Sri Lanka.
On Friday, the 15th of May, the web edition of the Guardian newspaper in the UK had published a quiz titled Travel Quiz, Do You Know Your Islands? Man Friday. The second question in the quiz had read Elam is an indigenous name for which popular holiday island. Among the answers to this question, Sri Lanka has been listed as one of the choices, and when Sri Lanka is selected as the answer, whilst indicating it as the correct answer, a further description, the full name of the island's recent military insurgency was LTTE Liberation Tigers from Tamil Elam had appeared. The High Commissioner of Sri Lanka in the United Kingdom had wrote to the editor of the Guardian newspaper on the inaccuracy of this information, requesting that the content be removed. High Commissioner Saroja Sirisena had noted that LTTE is an outfit which espouses terrorism, conscripted child combatants and is responsible for the deaths of democratically elected leaders and thousands of innocent civilians. The High Commissioner had gone on to say that the LTTE is a proscribed outfit by 32 countries, including the UK, the US and the European Union. She notes, quote, it is questionable as to why the writer refers to a proscribed terrorist outfit and their ideology in a travel quiz. This appears to be a sinister attempt to propagate the ideology of a proscribed terrorist outfit, unquote. Following the complaint, the Guardian has taken down the question. Although the Sri Lankan High Commissioner had sought an apology with the same level of publicity to that of the Derana's article, such has not manifested.
Now, an office of the police special branch told the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on the Easter Sunday attacks that the IGP was informed of terrorist Zahran Hashim's extremist activities in the area of Kattankudy since 2017. He added that the IGP was also warned that the explosion in Kattankudy involving a motorcycle several days before the attacks could be a rehearsal for something far more sinister.
A high-ranking officer of the police special branch gave evidence before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to probe the Easter Sunday attacks. The commission asked him whether he received information of an attack by National Tawheed Jamaat. He responded saying that no such information was received, and although he came to know of the existence of letters of warning after the attacks, he only saw them yesterday. He added that a report was compiled on the 20th of April in 2019 on the explosion involving a motorcycle in the area of Kattankudy. He said the report was submitted to IGP Pujit Jayasundara, emphasizing that the incident could be a rehearsal to a crime. The owner of the plot of land in which the explosion occurred had filed a complaint on the 17th of April 2019, and it was revealed that the DIG of STF had made the IGP aware of the situation. The witness went on to say that Zahran Hashim's cohorts had purchased the motorcycle in question from the area of Kandana with the use of a misplaced identity card, and the blast range was 15 meters since lead balls had been used in the explosion. He noted that the letter sent in this regard was sent for IGP Pujit Jayasundara, and copies of the letter were not forwarded to anyone. The officer also said that the IGP had put his seal and signature on the letter and requested a progress report before the 5th of May 2019. He further added that various letters were forwarded to IGP Jayasundara pertaining to Zahran's extremist lectures and various conflicts. It was also revealed before the commission that the IGP had requested progress reports from the STF on letters informing of Zahran's activities in the area of Kattankudy in 2017. What's more, the witness said that a letter was submitted to the IGP on the 11th of March in 2017 saying that Zahran should be arrested since he receives money from people overseas as he promotes extremist and racist views via the internet and that his organization is a terrorist organization. He added that another letter was submitted to the IGP on the 12th of June in 2018 informing him of Zahran's continuous proliferations of extremist views. An officer of the State Intelligence Service at the Divisional Intelligence Unit Office of Negombo gave evidence next. When asked whether he was informed of an attack, the witness said that he wasn't. He, however, said that he uncovered information on the lodgings used by the terrorists who attacked the Katuapitiya church. When asked whether the CCTV system of the residence used by the Katuapitiya church attackers is in his possession, the witness said that when they left the residence, they had taken the CCTV system with them to the area of Nindavur. He added that he is unaware whether the SIS had taken the CCTV system in question into their custody.
Now, former Prime Minister and leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, calls on the government to prepare a plan to overcome future economic challenges in face of the coronavirus pandemic. Releasing a statement to media, Wickremesinghe noted that government revenue is set to take a serious hit.
දැනට කර ඇති පුරෝකථන අනුව ඉදිරියේදී ලෝක ආර්ථික වර්ධනය 3%ක ඍණ අගයක් ගන්නවා. ලංකාවේ තත්ත්වයත් එසේමයි. අපේ ඇඟලුම් කර්මාන්ත වලින් ලැබෙන ආදායම 60%කින් පහත වැටෙනවා. සංචාරක කර්මාන්තයෙන් ආදායම් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. විදේශ රැකියා ආදායම් 20%කින් අඩු වෙනවා. ඒ අතර ආණ්ඩුව විසින් ගත් යම් යම් ප්‍රතිපත්ති තීරණ නිසා රජයේ ආදායම් තවත් පහළ වැටමින් යනවා. මේ නිසා අපේ ආර්ථික වර්ධනය ඍණ 3.5ක් පමණ වන ඇතැයි අපේක්ෂා කරනවා. ඒ අතරතුර ආනයන තහංචි පැනවීම රටේ ආර්ථිකයට අහිතකර ලෙස බලපා තිබෙනවා. අනාගත ආර්ථික අභියෝගය ජය ගැනීම පිළිබඳ නිවැරදි තක්සේරුවක් සිදු කර සැලසුම් වාර්තාවක් සකස් කරන ලෙස මම ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
We will see you once more on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
කොරෝනා වෛරසය පැතිරීම වළක්වන්න සබන් යොදා දෑත් සෝදන්න.
Welcome back. This is First at 9. Now, the tourism sector took a sizable hit after the Easter Sunday attacks of last year. But although the top-end tourist hotels were affected financially, with tourists preferring to stay away from them, the informal sector somehow survived. With the onset of COVID-19, however, which is the challenges brought on by it, no one is spared. Now, President of the Hotels Association of Sri Lanka, Sanat Utwakta, gave his thoughts to us on the issues the sector is currently faced with. He calls for government intervention to keep the payrolls going, thus ensuring that thousands of families are kept afloat.
The tourism industry is going through a very challenging time. There's no revenue and there are no guests. So we still need to maintain our plant and our employees. This unfortunately is an impossible task as there is no income. And very sadly, 90% of our members have not paid April salaries yet. So we want to pay our employees and to maintain their livelihoods. But in a situation of zero income, we have had to turn to the government for support. What we are asking the government is to make some financial provisions available by way of a grant or by way of soft loans directly given by the government to the industry, at least for a period of 6 months, so that our employees are not denied of their livelihood. We have had a series of discussions with the government, and the ways and means have been discussed to arrive at a practical solution. We are determined to find a way out of this and to encourage people to travel and patronize hotels safely as soon as the hotels are allowed to open and the airport is reopened for tourists. Our industry is coming up with a set of guidelines together with SLTDA to implement safety measures so that we can assure our guests that hotels are doing all they possibly can to ensure the guest safety. And we appeal to the public and the local businesses to support and help our local hotels as much as possible and keep over 500,000 livelihoods afloat.
Now, former chairman of Tea Exporters Association, Rohan Fernando, laid out the positives for the tea industry, saying that a promising future for the industry is on the horizon, adding that it stretches beyond just price increases. Meanwhile, also touching on the recent boost in tea prices, Chairman of Sri Lanka Tea Board Jampati Molligoda is confident that the tea industry can demonstrate its ability to withstand the pressure mounted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Sri Lanka saw a considerable increase in tea prices at the Colombo tea auction during the first quarter of this year, bringing cheer to the industry.
It's not unusual during the month of April the tea prices to go up. However, this particular year there had been unprecedented price increase. In fact, the prices have gone up by about 120 to 150 rupees. Especially the low grown prices have gone up by about 150 rupees. One of the main reasons for the substantial increase in tea auction price has been due to the private sector commitment demonstrated from the first sale itself just after the COVID-19 outbreak. The President has given us a clear direction to continue with the auction system as well as the production and the manufacture. Thanks to the private sector, the farmers, the manufacturers and the brokers, and in particular the exporters who in turn come to the auction and buy tea, we have been able to maintain the tea industry uninterrupted. In my view, the future is very positive in terms of getting more foreign exchange, provided we are able to go through what is known as tea promotion and marketing strategy implementation. We have already identified about 12 countries and we are aggressively going ahead with the promotional campaign. So I'm confident that the tea industry can demonstrate its ability to withstand the pressure and get more foreign exchange into the country. That will have a trickle-down effect right up to the smallholders.
Meanwhile, former chairman of Tea Exporters Association Rohan Fernando predicts a brighter outlook for tea in future, adding that the positives for the industry are beyond just the price.
Today, several good things have happened due to the COVID situation. One thing is the electronic auction being started, which we have been debating for several years, and due to the necessity of the situation, the environment, we had to go for electronic auctions. Although it is still in the formal stage of fine-tuning, I feel this is going to be a very big improvement in the tea export industry. Secondly, bank restructuring of debt portfolios will also give a boost for the exporters, especially in the tea industry, to go for new orders, have better working capital arrangements and cash flow situations. So the demand for the teas right now is very, very encouraging. Tea being a hot beverage and also other combinations with tea with herbs will open new markets for tea from Sri Lanka. At the same time, we must now look at post-COVID-19, the new world order and also the opportunities that come to us in the export sector. I would still like to believe with the electronic auction system coming in, with the demand increasing, we should look at Sri Lanka becoming a tea hub. It could work on a two-tier platform for Ceylon teas at the normal auction scheme, as well as having some other free trade export zones doing value-added business to take a bigger portion of the world tea market. What we should look at is the global demand as opposed to the local supply. If we concentrate on the local demand, we can become the larger player in the supply chain without giving that opportunity to countries close to our shores. So all in all, tea is set for good times. It is the perception of our people to look beyond our shores and how we can make use of these new opportunities.
And that's a wrap from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.